Many people say that music is a universal language. If that's the case, I would like to use music as a platform to talk about health. My name is Dr. Moshe Lewis, and I'm a full-time practicing physician who loves music and the way it affects our brains, our bodies, and our well-being. I would like to invite you to tune in where we interview musical artists about health matters that are important to them. But the truth is, we'll be discussing topics that affect all of us. From mental health to body image, cancer screening to stroke, our health is truly our greatest asset. So the goal is to open the dialogue on health to embrace topics that we don't always like to talk about in a way that's raw, candid, and lit. Hopefully, these discussions will improve the health of our community. After all, your health matters to me, and if I can make it sound more beautiful, then that's something we should all listen to. Music and medicine, when you hear those words, how do they speak to your heart?
Music and medicine. Music is medicine. You feel me?
Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis, joined by the delightful Kathleen Bradley. How are you doing?
I am doing well today. Not too bad. Had a nice little vacation and back in the swing of things. It's always good to be back here in the studio.
Right, and go take a little break.
Yeah, we've had some amazing guests, and we still have some yet to come.
Sure. Well, this young rising star, Newton Mayenge, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling me young, too. I
Sure.
appreciate that.
Well, I think you're 27, so you're still
Oh, man. I love him. I love him already.
so, right, hey, I could turn on the
Yeah.
Add a few more to
Sure.
it.
Okay.
All right,
28. Okay. And so all of us are enthralled. You've been working on this series and playing a basketball player, and I know you were a professional basketball player as well over in Germany, and have really brought it to life, this winning project about the Lakers and basically the rise of the dynasty. Talk to us about sort of just getting into acting, because that's a big transition from playing professional sports to going into acting.
It was interesting. I moved to California from North Carolina. My agent was out here, and that's how I even got to LA. And we were training. And once I got out here, people would ask me, "Man, are you an actor? I've seen you in something." So that's how that whole process started. I had no acting gene in my body.
Sure.
Over time, I played in Germany for a couple of years, and going into my third season, I was about to play in Spain, but I got into a car accident, which ended my career.
Wow.
So 4 knee surgeries later, grace of God, I'm still here.
Yes.
I was looking for something else to do. I loved LA. I loved California. Once you get into this weather, it's kind of it's hard to go back to the real winters and things like that. And so I went to school. I went back to law school and did the MBA thing. But this acting thing just kind of, I guess it found me.
Got the bones.
Yeah, it found me because everyone else was seeing it but me.
Right.
So I said, all right, well, let me see what this is.
Sure.
So after I did all the postgraduate stuff, started taking some acting classes. And it literally gave me a similar passion, I would say, as when I played the game of basketball.
Wow.
So that's when I said, okay, I have to do this. So, still 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you're trying to figure it out. What do you need to do? The headshots, all that stuff, right? Started doing everything that I could get into. PA work, short films, feature films, student films, anything I could do from any capacity just to be on set, background work. Did all that stuff. And then over time I said, let me take this thing more serious because I had a natural gift. So now I approached it like the game of basketball. A, B, C.
Yeah.
What do I need to do and what does that consist of? And I stayed in class, stayed working hard, started getting some bigger projects here and there. And then the pandemic happened. And that's when I was cast in Winning Time.
Right.
I get a call from my manager. She says, I've got this basketball player that I think would be a great fit for you. You look like the guy.
Right, sure. And you look like you play basketball.
Right, and it was a great fit. So I looked at him like, Jim Chones, that's the gentleman's name. Played for the Lakers back in 79, 80, 80, 81.
Okay.
Want to help Magic and Kareem win a championship during that time frame. I said, yeah, I could do that. So I did the audition. My wife said, you know what, I want you to add something extra to it though. So we added a 20-second clip of me actually playing like him, just to give them that visual as well, that I could actually play as well. With the high socks back in that time.
Yes.
I went to Slauson and found some shorts.
I was going to say, where'd you find everything?
Yeah.
Where'd you find those?
Slauson swap meet.
You did. I know Slauson swap meet.
Yeah.
Exactly where it is.
Got a jersey, put his number 9 on the jersey.
Yeah, see,
Like I did the whole thing.
There you go. That's what you have to do.
Secret.
And that was May 31st. June 5th, I get pinned. June 7th, on my birthday, I get the call from my manager. You've got the role.
Good.
June 14th of 2021. Now I'm on set, which is unheard of because a lot of times there's a lot of callbacks. Months. Right.
Right.
Now I'm on set with Sally Field, Sally Richardson with one of my directors,
Yes.
Jason Segel, Adrian Brody. The whole nine just exploded.
Sure. And we're gonna stop it right
I
there.
love
Yeah,
the
that's all I'm about to
series, though.
stop.
I love
And
this.
we're gonna
Yeah.
pull it all the way back
Is that
because you
what-
covered a lot.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to give everything away in the first 2 seconds. So let's go back up to that car accident
Okay.
and sort of what happened there, because a lot of times people may not realize that these accidents can be very, very serious, and in this case, end a professional career.
Of course.
Let's talk about some of that.
It was a hard moment for me because I felt like I was at the apex of my basketball career. If I would have played, so my agent had secured a job for me to play in Spain. If I would have played that season out, I didn't have the opportunity to play summer league basketball with the Celtics at that time.
Wow.
And so a month prior to, it was tough. It was
Yeah.
tough.
Imagine.
But a month prior to leaving, a drunk driver hit me, and I was literally going to a workout. It was a Sunday morning, probably around like 5 in the morning. And he comes around the curve, and I'm going towards the curve. And when he comes around so quickly, it's one lane going both ways. He comes around so quickly, I can't maneuver, and next thing you know, I just close my eyes, and bam, I wake up in the hospital. It was a very hard time in my life, and he ended up getting paralyzed, which was, you don't wish that on anybody.
No,
even
you
if they've
don't,
done
but
you harm.
still, yeah.
Right.
It just could have been turned out a whole different way,
Yeah.
We might not be here talking to you right now.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Everything happens for reasons, even though you have to go through the trials and tribulations and the pain and the sweat and the tears, Lord knows. But
Yes.
you have overcome, and it really happened to be that way for some reason.
Yeah.
So you broke one or two knees, or how that happened? You said 4 surgeries.
Mhm. So I had 4 knee surgeries. It's interesting, the type of injuries I sustained from the accident is almost as if I sustained them playing basketball. 2 ACLs, broken kneecap on this one, so this is an artificial kneecap. MCL surgery. I had ankle problems for a long time and back problems for years. I literally had to learn how to walk all over again. It was a process. The doctor said you probably never be able to even play basketball, let alone walk properly. Which made winning time a very special moment for me.
Right. And then, of course, you were overseas at the time as well. So
No, I was actually
you're
here.
Okay,
I was
so
here.
it
I was in the
happened
off season.
Wow. Okay.
And going to Glendale to work out.
Okay.
You were here. I'm thinking it was
Right.
in Germany as well.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh.
Because every summer I would come back home and train, spend time with family, things like that.
Right. It's always easy when things are over to really say, wow, I've come through so much. Talk to us about that process, though, of going through it, because orthos might feel. I've gotten through a lot of injuries with athletes, and some of them have been career-ending.
Yeah.
But the most difficult thing to do is to feel like I may have failed, or if only, and that's where I should be. So talk to us about that process of sort of, unpacking.
It was hard because now my confidence was based on my physical attributes.
Right.
Especially as an athlete. I did well in school because I wanted to play basketball.
Right.
So I fulfilled that with my parents because my parents they're African. So education is like number one.
Yes.
If you're not doing well in school, you can't do anything else. So it wasn't necessarily I liked being in school, but I did it to fulfill them, and I did well just to play basketball.
Right.
So for that to then be taken away, that was my identity at that time.
Right.
And I felt like, what do I have? I don't have anything left. And then you spiral, you go into a deep depression. I was severely depressed. The mental health anguish, that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was moments where I'm like, I don't even want to be here. If I can be fully transparent, because I didn't feel like I had anything else, because I put all my eggs in that one basket.
That's it.
Over time, as like anything, time heals all wounds, or it helps you to at least navigate other opportunities, is when I started to see what else I could do. And started to have some confidence that, reaching out to family and friends. They were big, influential people in my lives, people who love me and care about me.
Sure.
You're intelligent, you can figure it out.
Right.
And so that's kind of that whole process. But it was hard.
Sure.
It was hard.
If you could put a finger on something in particular, whether it was prayer or faith or your partner, what do you feel kind of helped pull you to?
Obviously my faith in God. That's first and foremost. My mother was very instrumental in saying that you're deeper than anything that you concentrate on as a career field. You're special no matter what you do or don't do. So once I started to tap into that, later on, obviously, I get married, and my wife was a big supporter of my career. She was influential in me saying, look, let's put everything on hold and let's go 100% at this career. But going back to the accident and recovering, just realizing that I'm bigger than basketball. It's something I do that I enjoy doing, but it doesn't define me. Right. And that was a teachable moment for me that I, to this day, try to teach people, especially going out into this industry where it's so rocky and it's a lot of stuff.
Yes,
Right. So much
Right.
vanity.
Yeah.
So ephemeral.
Yeah. My happiness isn't based on if I book something or don't book something, because I learned from that situation that it can be taken from me at any moment. And I can't be consumed on me feeling fulfilled in life based on that thing that I do. But then I'm unique and special just without it.
Good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Talk to us about that feeling of that full circle moment now when you get that call that you've booked this role.
You know, it was very therapeutic for me. And it ended because I got that call 20 years later.
Right.
I'm 45, even though I look young.
28.
Yes, you do.
I'm 28. It was surreal for me. I cried. My wife and I, we were planning the wedding at the time, so we didn't know how we were going to pay for it. We were working through that. And then I get it. And playing a basketball player of all first breakout roles.
Yes.
It was surreal. To this moment, it's still surreal.
Yes.
It gave me almost a closure of my basketball career.
Right.
It's funny, being on that set then gave me notoriety and fans from the NBA world. So it's almost like I became an NBA player,
right.
But just from a different perspective as an actor.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I love that show. It is so great, so well done. And the actors that portray Magic and Kareem and Norm Nixon. I was back in that day at the Forum, honey, in the 70s, 80s, and watching front row seat. But how is it working with some of the others? Are you like, now, you said Joe Jones, that you were there, and how often do you work? Are you like, not in every scene, I'm sure, but like, how often does your character occur?
Well, Jim Chones, so my first season was interesting. I came into 2 episodes. And I told myself I have to be prepared. I approached it like the game of basketball.
Right.
All right. If they give me 5 minutes on the basketball court, I'm gonna be the worst nightmare of my opponent for 5 minutes. Which then, when I show that work ethic, now the coach decides, okay, well, he can handle 5. Let me give him 10, 15, 20. Next, he's starting.
Get him off that bench.
Right. So I approached my role on Winning Time the same way, because they didn't know me. That was my first major role. And they gave me some stuff, and I was in scenes with Wood Harris and Adrian Brody and Jason Segel and people like that, and I killed them on purpose.
Yeah.
But I came at it from a perspective of being an asset and not a liability. There were certain moments in that show, in our script, that was dead silence. There might be a scene where it was, a locker room scene, right? Yeah. So it wouldn't necessarily cut when the script ended. Because it's guys, they're going through the stuff. So I would interject things here and there. Right. I did ask for permission first from my directors, obviously being respectful. Right? And once they gave me that option and opportunity to add things, I started just add. And they loved it, and they wanted me to do more. Right. So then I went from 2 episodes, to they extended me to 6 episodes in the first season.
Wonderful, great.
Which was a blessing.
Yes, it is.
Pay for my wedding.
Tell them when they see it. Tell them when they see it. That's excellent. How you just went in there and your mindset and your talent and just knowing that this was your second chance. You just definitely like being on that bench, getting off, and you have to show it then, because that might be the only opportunity when you have that time right there to make the best of it. Because if you don't deliver like you want to, you always will wish woulda, coulda, shoulda said it this way or that way, or done something differently.
Yeah.
But evidently, you did all the right things, and I can't wait to see it again. I'm going to be looking for you. Now, was it the very beginning of the episodes? I want to know which ones you're in, because I'm going to watch it.
So the first season, I was at episodes 5 through 10 through the end of the season.
Okay.
And then mid-season, well, in between first and second, they gave me a bigger role. I had a family, 3 kids, a wife.
Cool.
They gifted me that because they were grateful for what I had accomplished first season. So second season, I'm in 1 through 3 because it's 7 episodes. It's a 7-episode series season.
Season, yes.
But my character, without giving away too much, historically gets traded. So, but they gave me so much love. And they wrote for me, and it was amazing. It was an absolute blast, and I'm friends with my execs, my co-stars. Adrian Brody is a dear friend of mine now. They gifted me with a great scene with him at the end, which was a very impactful scene. But I approached it from a standpoint of, why do I get to not continue to be on this show? Why, in my mind, sure. Yes. Right. We're looking at all these great actors. Sure. How come I get to I have to leave, but they get to stay? Sure. And so I used that because the storyline was I win a championship, help them win a championship. Right. This is historically correct too.
Right.
That then I can end my career in LA. Right. So I get called to the office after we just won a championship. I come in, just purchased a house. We won the championship, so I'm thinking I'm there. Just had triplets. Right. I'm thinking I'm about to sign my contract. Right. I get in there, you gotta trade you to Washington. Right. Wow. I'm looking at these guys, I'm like, well, I did what you asked me to do. Right. It's character, right? Right. Sorry, we bringing in a younger guy who we can get a little cheaper. Right. And who's gonna be here a lot longer. And so then it's this whole, you can imagine.
What was his name? Who they brought in?
Can I say it?
Yeah. This is over.
What's his name? He ended up being a GM for the Lakers too. Gosh, what was his name?
You can't remember.
Dang, what was his name? GM for the.
All right.
Google. It'll come back to me.
All right. Yeah.
It'll come back to me. He went to University of North Carolina too, where I went. So I should remember his name, but it'll come back. That's
okay. Yes.
But he's a great guy. But I got a chance to meet the actual real Jim Chones, which he's like a big brother to me, and he poured into me, gave me a lot of insight. And that's kind of
all the characters are so real. Like the casting is amazing. Have you ever seen the show?
I've seen two episodes.
Oh man! Yeah. And I've been around those guys in the forum and in the forum club and all that stuff. And it's just, I love it. It takes me way back, man. Though I'm really not that old. But,
no, you're not that old.
I'm like, I'm not that old.
Norm's son actually played him. Devon.
Right, Norman's son.
Jason Segel played Westhead, Paul Westhead, who was a coach. Adrian Brody played.
I love Adrian. Oh, I know. I told you I'm
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley. Yeah. Sure. Pat Riley.
Yeah, so it was great. Michael Chiklis was in it. Sally Field was in it.
It was excellent.
John C. Reilly played Dr. Jerry Buss.
Yep, John C. Reilly. Yep.
But the writing was fantastic. Rodney Barnes, he's the writer. He was on. He wrote for Everybody Hates Chris, Jim Heck, all the Ice Age movies. Our showrunner Max Bornstein gifted me. He was my boss. He did a lot of Godzilla stuff prior to that, and so it was just an amazing time in my life. And we literally went through the training. So we had mandatory workouts, the weightlifting, the yoga sessions.
So talk about.
Like it was, I felt like I was back playing, but it was so fun.
That's great too when you have to train and get paid for it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did that once. I auditioned for this movie. It's called All the Marbles with Peter Falk. And it was about wrestling. Yeah. This was been a long time ago. And they actually had 6 females that they wanted to pick just 1 or 2 of us there for wrestling to travel around with him. Yeah. The female wrestlers. We had to go through all of the training. We know all the fake stuff, hair ref, pulling hair. We had to flip, jump off the thing.
No, some people.
Oh my God. I would go home, my ass was hurting bad. I was younger then. It was tough. I didn't get to parties. I cried.
That was a year ago, right?
No, right. No, Lord knows.
Okay.
I'd be 6 foot under right now if I had to do that again. Oh, Lordy, but that's a great thing to be able to be in this business, and the training that they do afford you to do to pay you that and then do the role, man. And even, to travel and go someplace to film is such a great, wonderful high. And being in the industry, it's nothing like it. So after you done this and completed this series, what are you doing next? Do you have something lined up?
Yes, I'm actually going to France in December, and I'm filming a feature. It's a romance.
Mm-hmm.
I play a director in it.
Okay.
I'll be out there for maybe 6-7 weeks in Cannes.
Oh boy, is it all booked? Do they need something in my caliber?
We're gonna have to talk about this.
Serious, please. Oh
We'll have
boy.
to talk about it.
And if they do have somebody like me, where is she? Send my boys after her.
Right. We gotta open that up
She had a
now.
little accident. Not bad.
You
What
can
had
afford to
happened
let
was-
them pay to send you out there.
Yeah.
You can afford that.
Yeah, I can afford that. I pay my own trip now. But that's wonderful. I love South of France. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So,
When does this project start?
December.
Oh, in
I'm
December.
actually spending the holidays
Check
up.
your time.
Yeah, we got
Oh,
to
yeah.
make sure you're available.
I'm available.
Okay.
Please. I know they need me and don't know it.
They're just working on that.
Yeah,
A
right.
couple of details.
It's something.
They don't know it yet.
Let me sit down.
They gonna know. So I got that. I got 3 other films that I'm working on right now. I can't talk about currently.
Wonderful.
But one is going to Prime, and one is going to Netflix.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah.
They kind of like espionage.
One actually
It's
is.
okay.
One actually is.
Intrigued.
So it's the whole gambit.
Do you have to do some martial arts or kick ass or do anything like that? Are you really doing stuff
She
like
did
that?
something with Peter Falk
You know?
just a year ago.
Oh, well, a year.
Just a year ago.
Okay,
No.
3.
Right.
No, it's been a long time.
He's been gone a couple of days, but it was recent.
All that training is
I got
so
to act as her
important.
agent. I got to protect you.
Oh, thank you,
Make sure
please.
these writers are in your contract.
Right.
I have to
Gotta
be
documented.
somebody's mother, auntie.
You'll have to have a stunt double.
Oh, I could be a cougar. I definitely had to have stunt double.
You have to have that.
Ooh, I
We
played.
had those.
I
because
played
it's so
golf and
rigorous.
come
Oh,
in
no,
here.
of course. You have to be
Yeah,
intense.
right.
Um,
For you.
to say life imitates art, some people have said that it can fit. Talk to us in what way you feel that the game of basketball has really been a way that sort of defines your life, because you hinted at it a bit, the way you go into roles and things like that.
The prep work. I've always, even from just a standpoint of learning the craft and learning the work, I approach it like, when I played basketball, if my shot was off, right? Well, whose fault is that? It's my fault. I need to go in the gym and shoot 1,000 makes.
Right.
I'm going to shoot maybe 30 times in the game on the higher level. So if I'm making it 1,000 times, now it slows down the game. So when I'm actually in the game, that game is actually easier.
Mm-hmm.
So my prep consists of making my rehearsals and that time frame super hard,
Right.
way harder than being on set would be. Now when I go on set, because I almost reimagine what the set is, and raise the stakes, keep it that high, keep it that intense. I set fictitious sets depending on what the role is. On purpose,
Right.
and I keep going over and over and over, rehearsing over and over and over
Good.
until I fall out, tired.
Sure.
Take a little break,
Wow.
maybe have a meal, and then get to it again.
Maybe eat.
Yeah,
I
right.
like that.
Like the game of basketball.
Sure.
Because then what you don't want to do is not be prepared on set or to make
true.
it feel like it's too fast.
Right.
Because everybody's throwing things at you.
Right.
Practice harder to then play easier. Yeah, so that's been my philosophy.
That's
Sure.
like
Which
Walter.
the game of basketball is
Yeah.
helped.
And Walter Matthau, they asked him how he did and prepared for roles. He said when he gets his script, as soon as he gets it, he reads it 100 times.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. And what you're saying is that's dedication. And it's
I love
so important to be prepared when you get on set. And that's why I'm sure that they loved you so much when you did work with the Lakers show, because they could see that.
Thank you.
And then you're going
Kind of
places,
close.
young man.
Thank you.
I
That
can
means a
tell.
lot.
Yeah, I can
Thank
tell your ferocity and your drive is really awesome.
And I tell younger actors all the time, you got to be an asset and not a liability. This business is such a egotistical business, and you get a role, and all of a sudden you get the big head.
Yeah.
Right.
And I realize it can be taken from you at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everybody's replaceable. Now, what is not replaceable is someone being a good person, because people remember that.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So you need to be flexible, be able to be number one if they call you,
Yeah.
or number 1,000
Sure.
Yeah.
on that call sheet and everything in between, and go 100% with no ego. If it's basketball, I'll drop 50 for you.
Yeah.
But if you need me to be on the bench and clap it up for everybody else, I'm gonna do that.
See,
Right.
good for you.
Sure.
And that's the work.
That's it.
That's the
right.
mindset.
It is the work. It's work.
Well, we've heard it here from Newton Mayenge himself, an amazing career that's off to lightning speed. But in spite of that, this started off as a tragic injury that really could have been so devastating that he never would have found the wherewithal to press on. Instead, through faith and his family, he decided to really continue to pull it together and listen to his mother, who said that there was no reason he had to define himself as only a game or only as basketball. So we are the beneficiaries of that, and so appreciative to have you here to see not only your ferocity and determination, but your ability to continue to stay positive and to work hard and put in the work. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys for having me. Shout out to what you guys are doing. This is fantastic. Thank you for bringing people in to share their stories.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. And shout out to my Winning Time family.
Sure.
I love
Yeah.
you guys, man. Let's keep grinding. Let's keep working and keep inspired.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you.